All right, guys, it's Paul Singh, the market speculator, with the trade report for Thursday, February 4th, 2016. If you haven't heard already, my interview with Chat with Traders is up. You can go on iTunes or go to the Chat with Traders. I think they've got the link to the Twitter feed. We're getting close to the open here, so I don't have time to post it today, but I'll post it in the report tomorrow. Let's take a look at SPY here. Volatile day for the market. We talked about this, when we got this bounce here that we didn't expect a straight line. There would be some volatility in here, and there was a lot of volatility yesterday. We had in SPY a range from about 187 to 191. So that looks like it was the most volatile day since this move here back on January 20th. And expect more of that, but stick with it. I always talk about micromanaging positions, and here you do not want to do that going by the intraday. We've decided how we're going to play this, and we really need to stick with it. You can't get too emotional with these intraday moves. So this kind of close we want to see with SPY here. Pre-market futures down about 0.7%. Across the board here, which is not too significant. I get more concerned when it's around 1%. Crude at 0.74 when you consider how big the move was yesterday. That's not much of a move here. 1.37 and 0.74 here. So we're down a little bit about a half hour before the open, but again, we'll watch the intraday moves and the close, which will be important as usual. So nothing really has changed here with SPY. USO, we had this big move down the day before, but we were holding through it, and now we got the big move up. And again, when you get these bottom formations, there's some volatility in here that you've got to be able to hold through, or you're going to just get stopped out and miss the move. So unless it gets down here close to the lows, we're going to stick with it. And let's take a look at what we're trading. UWTI here. You see very similar pattern here. Entry was at 204. We're up to 215. We're up to about 260. But back and forth is expected. And again, we're looking for 3 to 4 here at least for our targets here. We get up to 4. 4 doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a 100% move here. So that would be a fantastic gain. So we're keeping an eye on that. And then ERX, very similar to SPY here. Entry was in the 17s. We're up to 19. We're going for about 21 for the initial partial profit. And then Facebook is a trade we completed yesterday. You can see here, classic pattern here where you've had this 3-4 day run. You get this inverted hammer. That's a good spot to short. I talked about this before. Now, this isn't a huge, we're not going for a huge gain here. This is a trend within a trend. We got in at about 114.60, I believe, and then I exited at 110.90 something. So right in here, we dropped down to about 110 and recovered here to 112. It actually still looks like a short. We could pull back here down here to 105. I wouldn't be opposed to taking another shot here, but we'll see how that plays out. But a nice quick trade here. Now, this is one of the more aggressive setups that you didn't see me taking a lot of last year, but I trade a lot. Remember, I told you guys I have 2 different swing accounts. One is more aggressive. When I take these aggressive trades, you can decide if you want to take it or not. But I'm going to start doing these types of trades a little more in my trade report account. I know some of you can trade these and want to trade these, so I'll add those. And then, again, it's up to you if you want to take them or not. So basically today, I'll be on the lookout at the focus list here, and let's see. Before we do that, let's look at the pre-market movers, just for stocks that we're familiar with that show up on our focus lists. SEDG breaking out, so we're interested in that. I haven't looked at the chart yet, but we'll keep that on our radar. Nothing really here other than that I'm really interested in is a swing. I'm always looking at these for day trades. So any of these gappers here I'm looking to play in the morning. And then the gap downs, interesting. GoPro down 13%. It was already down big yesterday. Kohl's down 10%. That'll be one to watch here. Ralph Lauren sometimes makes our list. ICE has made our list before. WLL energy stock probably putting in a very similar pattern to energy, but pulling back about 6% today. Actually, that might be coal. Now, what I often do is at the end of the day, and I was busy yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to do it. So I'll just really quickly show you guys here. Russell 2000, I always go through here and I get asked, why do I use 2000 instead of 3000? It's just because 3000 has more of the 50-cent stocks. And here you see even in the 2000, we have a 7-cent stock, which I'm not going to trade. Even at $1 stock, I'm probably not going to trade. Depending on the stock. CLF is $1.90. But it's a steel stock that I'm familiar with and gets 4 million shares here. So I might trade something like CLF, which is steel, up to 190, looking really good. And of course, knowing that will get me interested here in X. And we can see all these commodities are putting in these patterns here, which look pretty good. Big move for boot today. Let me see if there's anything else interesting here. CN is a stock we've been interested in here. This has been rising up all the way from 2 to 9. So keep an eye out on that. And I don't see anything too interesting here. But this is what I do on a daily basis. I'll go in a little deeper later. But basically the same focus list as we've had here. Nothing really jumping out at me. We've talked about Cray as a short. It was very volatile yesterday, but we'll watch this kind of rolling over. It looks very similar to Facebook. A bunch of these energies are putting in the same pattern as XLE and ERX, but we're already in ERX, so we don't need to get into them. But DVN, you can see here, and I'll pull it up on the bigger chart. DVN here looking really good. BCEI is always a volatile one. Which can be good, and that's a low price stock for those of you guys who like to trade the low price stocks. Good volume coming in, so maybe this runs up to 4 or 5 here. But again, ERX is a simple way to play it. I think the thing to note here more than anything is just how poor the Fang stocks have been this year. And the crazy thing about it is, except for one of them, and I can't remember which one, they all had, I think Amazon was the one that didn't have the best earnings news, but Google, Netflix, and Facebook all had really good earnings news, and the reaction has been poor to it. You can see here with Google, big move down after a gap up, and now it's looking at, when it got up to 800 after hours, I was kicking myself a little for maybe not holding through earnings, but you can see here now all the way down to 750. So that exit is looking a lot better now, that profit taking we took going into earnings. But all of these, Facebook had good earnings, and this is actually acting the best, but pulling back in here, and then Netflix has just been crushed after fantastic earnings. So that's something to think about. When you see these negative reactions to good earnings, there's something wrong here. So last year was the year of Fang, and maybe this year is the year to short Fang. So we'll keep an eye on that. So that's it for the trade report today. I think mostly today, I may take a shot here or there, but mostly it's just about managing our positions today. And I'll be looking for I'm going to be looking for other stocks like that have had earnings, get 3 or 4 day runs, and then we can short aggressively when they put in a pattern like this. So next couple of weeks, I'll be looking on the lookout for this pattern here. So that's it for the trade report. I will see you later today or early tomorrow.